and welcome to episode 4 of The Last 7, a not so philosophical wax regarding the last 7 days. I'm your host Dan Rowley, with me today Justin Cliff.
Hello.
And Kenneth Trainer.
Hello.
Still no Antonio.
Still no tone.
He's got what he thinks is an equally good reason not to be here again this week, which is that you guys are off to America tomorrow.
Yeah. Hell yeah, we're going to America for like 13 days.
And he's spending some quality time with his other half, who was well up for doing this podcast.
Yeah, it did seem that way, didn't it?
Fair play, Lauren.
Yeah.
But that's sweet. I think we can allow him.
Yeah, it's actually loads more than 14 days as well, so I just did the maths in my head. So yeah, fair play to him. I mean, I've had to push things back with my girlfriend, considering all of this recording has gone to shit before it even began, but I'm sure she'll forgive me.
Definitely.
Would you forgive us though?
Maybe not.
No.
I think me and Kate get on pretty well. She hates you.
No, she doesn't hate anyone. To be fair, this trip to America has just ruined your podcast.
Yeah, it kind of. I can't help but think that you should probably not go, do the podcast, then take that to America.
Maybe.
Where 19 people listened last week.
Nice.
So hello America. We're massive
again,
there.
America.
I guess because we sound British but not English.
Yeah.
For the most part.
And that's maybe a plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they really seem to like it. I've had loads of music from them as well. It's been great.
Sweet.
Awesome. Ken?
Hello.
What's the best thing that's happened to you in the last 7 days?
Got this new haircut.
Oh yeah, it looks sweet. You look like Robin Van Persie.
Thanks,
It is dashing.
Yeah, quite like it. Just had the idea yesterday. So rather than getting a normal haircut, I'll see if I can just shave around the back and the sides and leave it long on the top. It was a bit too thick to leave it just as it was. It would have looked stupid. But yeah, got this. Pretty happy with it. Simon always does a good job. Can't recommend him highly enough.
The barber is amazing.
It's Simon in, I don't know what the street's called.
No, right.
Down the side of the market by the.
If you know Newport well at all, though, you'll know Si's Barbers / martial arts gym.
Yeah. Combat gym it is.
Combat gym upstairs, barbers downstairs.
That's pretty cool.
Always some good tunes playing. He's always got something interesting to say. Last time I had my haircut there, we were talking about the apocalypse, and he's got like loads, like hundreds of different denominations of banknote from all around the world.
I always want to ask him as well, because like there's some Scottish like 10s and 5s and stuff and 20s on the wall, and I always kind of want, you do know you could just spend them, mate. It's not like the Chinese money that you've got on the wall. You could actually, you know. Yeah, he's well cool. I can't recommend it highly enough, except, and I know you're going to ask me about the worst things happened this week, and I think this may qualify, because basically when I arrived there, there was a young girl there as well, and then she left, and he said, "Oh, it's my daughter, man, my eldest daughter."
Right.
And I was like, "Right, okay. How old is she, Si?" And he was like, "Oh, 16. Well, she's very nearly 16." And like, to look at him, you wouldn't think he's old enough to have a 16-year-old daughter, right? Which I said, and he was like, "Oh, right, okay. How old are you then?" And I said, 30. I'm not 44, like I said on the previous podcast we recorded. So yeah, I said 30, and he went, 30. 30. Like that. I can't do his accent.
But how does that fold into your worst thing of the week?
Because he thought I looked much older. He thought with my grey hair and stuff.
Right.
He couldn't believe it. He went, "Fucking hell, I'm 36, bro." And he looks younger than me, so
I got ID'd in Asda yesterday.
By who?
By a lass who's seen me there plenty of times, and when I remonstrated, only quickly, it's only across the road to get my passport. She said, "Have you got any ID?" I said, "No." I said, "Well, I'm 28. So, and she went, I said, you might have seen me in here, you must have seen me in here before. She went, "I see thousands of people every day," which I think is an exaggeration.
But you see a lot of the same people every day.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. Like I said, I mean, I was that much that a guy who worked there thought that I also worked there. And when I went and took my groceries to his till, he said, "Are you not working today?" And I said, "No." And I thought he just meant, my work is like the middle of the day. And he went, "So yeah, whereabouts you normally? Sort of in the back?" And I went, "Oh." I said, bit of everywhere. Because I couldn't for the life of me just at that moment go, "I don't work here." It's happened to me so much.
I don't know who that's more embarrassing for.
It was for both of us because our friend Spencer used to work there, and I told this to him, and then he told the guy. So that when I saw the guy next time, he just went and put his head down. It was really embarrassing for everybody.
Yeah, but it's embarrassing for you because you're there so often. An employee has mistaken you for an employee.
Mate, I look industrious in whichever shop I'm in.
Yeah,
you saw it happen. You saw it happen in Edinburgh when we were walking out of the pub, and a guy, as I was walking out the pub, half cut, stopped me and went, "Are you still serving lunch?" So I probably replied yes and went about my day. Yeah. I was in HMV. It's happened loads. People just tap us on the shoulder. Well, there's no HMV anymore in Newport, but when it was,
HMV I get because HMV I get that because that's happened to me quite a lot. I've gone up to the wrong person.
It also happened to me whilst I was eating a Subway sandwich outside Pound Stretcher. Old woman came up to me. She thought it was security because that's what we normally do is just sit, stand up, eating sandwiches. Yeah. Wearing a Ghostbusters t-shirt, and she went, "Excuse me, lovely, I've paid for these. I'm just going to leave them. With my friend while I go back and get something else. So I don't work here." She went, "Oh, I'm sorry." Like mayonnaise dripping off my chair as I was halfway through a sandwich. Of course I don't fucking work here. "Oh, bro, do you work here?" When I was in game beforehand, I look a bit like I work in game. I think.
You look a bit like you work in HMV
and Pound Stretcher.
Yeah.
And
you just like look about you.
I look industrious. Everywhere I am, I just look busy. I look like I'm part of the landscape.
He's mastered that.
Making it all work. They think that guy is definitely part of this in some way. I think I'm Jesus.
Thinking about bad stuff as well.
Yeah, I do think about bad stuff.
I also had to go and get some blood taken at the doctor, and she's like, "Do you not like it?" Which I said, "Well, no," because I was thinking, "Who the fuck looks forward to this?"
Go, yeah, I love it.
Sadists.
And she's like, "Yeah, sorry, no, I understand you don't like." I said, "Yeah, because they had a bit of difficulty usually and stuff." And she's like, "Look," and she puts the tourniquet on and stuff. She's looking, "Oh, you got some lovely big fat veins. You got some lovely big fat veins there." She's pressing and prodding them and going, "All right, okay, just get on with it. Yeah, don't look and stuff." And she sticks it in. Obviously, I'm looking.
Yeah,
you have to. Do you know what I mean? And it went in, and basically. It went in, and loads of blood came out. The bit where she'd punctured my arm, you can see it.
Holy shit! Yeah. It's bruised.
Loads of blood was coming out around there, but when she put the vacuum thing on, nothing came out. And it was for ages, and she tried about 4. And she said, maybe it's something wrong with the vacuum.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, all right then, feeling a little bit faint now. I don't want to admit it, but she's like, okay, takes the thing off and stuff. We'll try your other arm. Oh, fucking hell, yeah.
Look at that!
Jesus!
Yeah, I know.
It's horrible.
On the other arm, man.
Yeah, I had to grip a little spongy thing.
Why?
They couldn't get any blood out of the other one.
Oh,
She just fucking lacerating his arm until he just bled into a bucket.
A cup underneath it. Whereas
this one,
put it in with a foot. Stabbed it in.
Best thing that's happened to you in the last 7 days, Jay?
Seeing my girlfriend.
Oh.
Before I go away. Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
I'm going to edit this out.
No, please don't.
Yeah,
you're definitely going to listen to it.
Something you say later, like this brilliant episode of Columbo, which we'll get to. Yeah, that's going to be your favourite, your best thing in the week. But carry on with this.
To be fair, the event on Saturday was awesome.
Yeah, it was. That was another brilliant thing of the week.
Was that Saturday?
Yeah, that was just Saturday.
No, Saturday.
Oh no,
just Saturday gone. That was killer. I absolutely love that night. Tone's birthday.
Of course.
We did a bit of a show. We had lots of people coming in doing shows and
Explain
stuff.
the event and then why it was.
Well, the event was a fundraiser for us to raise a bit of moolah before we go to America, and that we did. And thanks to anyone who came who might be listening to this. But we basically did a night of comedy and music and alcohol.
It was tremendous, man.
I faced death.
Yeah, you
That's
did.
right.
On Saturday, didn't I?
You got the knives that are in that basket there juggled over.
I don't want to see them
head.
again. I don't want any flashbacks. Yeah. I had to lie down on the floor and.
At least we know that if the knives went in, hardly any blood would come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
But interestingly, I should not have been in any danger, should I, Dan?
Oh yeah, the juggler came up to me beforehand and said, "I'm going to use you," and I implored him not to.
Yeah.
But he said, "It's going to happen. Don't worry, it's fine. I'm only drinking, all this Red Bull, so I can't imagine anything going wrong." And I didn't know the running order or anything, so when you finished one of the sketches, I nipped off for a quick shit. Some of the buffet had gone through me. That and some cider. So, and when I came back, Ken was lying on the floor with knives being thrown on the
so we
floor.
go up the stairs. Yeah, you just go up the stairs and there was Ken just knives flailing
Finished
and
up and
spinning
gone,
around
yeah.
the space.
Oh, well, that was, I'm glad that's over. I'll be able to, maybe enjoy some more, but I am so sorry.
Yeah. You took it like a man though, Ken. You just lay down and you just let it happen.
Yeah, I got up, well, because I didn't have a choice. I knew Dan was nowhere to be seen, so I got up. I said to him, so, I mean, my back to the crowd, he's smiling at the audience, playing it up, and I said, I will never forgive you for this. And, and also you, Jay, with your, you were really joined in the chant of Ken is going to die.
I was in character though, so,
yeah.
you know.
A whole pub shouting Ken is going to die, and I was looking up at the ceiling, which I'd never looked at before, was why, thinking,
no,
this is the last thing I'll ever see.
Yeah. But yeah, glad it wasn't, Ken.
Should have just stood up afterwards and gone, death is inevitable.
Yeah, that was my favourite thing of the week.
Seeing Kate.
It was brilliant.
The whole night, yeah. Seeing Casey and my family. My mum came down and surprised me. My brother came down and surprised me. His girlfriend. Yeah, it was fucking cool.
They seem to have a blast as well, man. So, and it was brilliant. I'm not just saying that because you're here. I really, really enjoyed myself. It was almost worth the £3 that one of your best friends had to pay to get in. But I knew it was all going to a good cause as well as the other money that we donated. It was fine. Happy to do it. Happy to do it. And the fact that you're going to America, leaving us and leaving this podcast for 3 whole weeks, it's fine. I'm not even bitter about it. I don't know who brought it up. My best thing of the week is twofold. I saw a couple of friends yesterday. That was going to be brilliant, always. Karis and Gaz. Gaz is going to be on the podcast while you're away.
Sweet.
He's wanted to do it for a long time. He has a production company called Pixelated Beards. So yeah, hopefully, maybe some joint venture in the future. Anyway, I saw them, and because the reason I was going to see them is because I was going to buy some tickets for a live recording of a podcast in Birmingham called Hollywood Babylon with Kevin Smith and Ralph Garman.
Yeah. Did you buy the tickets off him, off that dude?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I didn't know any were going to be available, and it was by pure accident on Twitter that he said, "Yeah, I've got a couple of tickets."
The power of Twitter.
So yeah, Ken and I going up. It's kind of a bit of Ken's birthday present as well. Because I paid for the nicest hotel I could find, the Ibis budget.
Yeah.
Where the toilet is in the room. It was wicked.
You don't have to treat me well, Dan.
I know, it's good. There's a double bed. It was cheaper. So, bought those tickets.
I just found a squashed fly on my toe.
That's disgusting.
So yeah, Justin, what's the worst thing to happen?
That is fucking wrong. I'm really sorry to interrupt, but that is something, isn't it?
Yeah,
holding it up and examining it, yeah,
Jesus,
that's pretty
look
awful.
at it. It's still got the wings on it.
You were just out the back feeding the dog biscuits in your bare feet. It's probably...
That's where flies congregate normally.
Yeah,
around
biscuits.
Below dog biscuits.
Yeah.
Not dog biscuits, human biscuits.
Human biscuits.
They were having a big chat,
actually.
2 of them.
I bought tickets for Hollywood Babylon from Karis and Gaz, and also when I got back, heavily refreshed. That was it. I thought I was going to buy. That was it. I thought I was going to just buy the tickets. We are going to maybe have a quick drink, or they were going to come to the flat for a cup of tea, and then that would be that. We stayed out for a good portion of the evening. Got pretty pissed. I'll be honest. I was drinking, a lovely light bitter out in the sun. It was awesome. Great company, great people, and I got something out of it. They got cash as well, and they're going to see the same show in London. So everyone's a winner. And when I got back, because I was so heavily refreshed, I thought, fuck it, and I just bought my Latitude ticket as well.
Oh,
yeah,
sweet.
Spent £202 on that.
Nice.
Cannot friggin' wait. Blackies headlining.
Yeah.
It's going to be shit hot.
I know.
That was the best thing, and it all involves me spending money. It involves me spending nearly £300 of my own cash.
Yeah.
But I know it's going to be well worth it. I'm living like a pauper for the rest of the month.
Yeah, but you've got you got a treat coming your way, and the end of the month isn't that far away.
No, and it's not really the end of the month. It's the 23rd of next month, is what I'm thinking. So yeah, probably going to get some Wonga on the go.
That is quite far away.
Yeah, payday was 2 days ago, and I figured
that's the time that Latitude will be. So you won't have any money when you're actually there.
You have underestimated my power to save. I reckon I'll have at least £30 to spend from Thursday till Monday.
Isn't that what we're supposed to chip in for the petrol for the journey there and back?
That wasn't discussed. I think a ticket was discussed. Buy your ticket, everything will be fine. Your chalet will be ready for you when you get. If there's no chalet,
there's definitely a chalet.
Oh my God, for that.
Yeah. I might be in the ship that Danny Dyer thing as well.
I don't think you are.
Oh,
Why?
Email. Danny Dyer's liable.
No.
I tell you what. Interesting thing I discovered in the last week. There is a film called The Last Seven.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
with Danny Dyer
with
in
Danny
it.
Dyer in it.
No.
So if we're gonna get in trouble for
way.
anything,
Yeah, Danny Dyer's gonna.
yeah,
Double
but have they
badass.
spelled 7 with a number 7 in the middle, like the film said? Ah,
Also, something that I wanted to say at the beginning but didn't, but I'm just going to interrupt the flow again. Sorry, but I'll bring it back. Last week I said Pavilion published the Sci-Fi Masterwork series.
right.
They do not. It's Galange.
Glad we cleared that up.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna send all the
You're
emails back that
definitely
they've
gonna have
got
to
in.
put that in, is that though?
Of course.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, everyone. What do you think about Luis Suarez biting another guy?
Luis Suarez is a Uruguayan striker. He plays for Liverpool.
Proper star, world-class football.
Yeah,
player.
he was back from injury, back from surgery, and he scored 2 goals in the game that sort of smashed England to pieces. He's been the scourge of the Premier League this year, and he has been found. Well, he will be found guilty a 3rd time of sinking his teeth into an opposition player.
Time,
A
biting
3rd time.
someone.
Yeah.
On the pitch.
What?
Didn't want to think he was playing for AC or Inter Milan.
Ajax, isn't it?
Ajax, well done, Ken.
I sound really knowledgeable with that. It's only because it was on
That's
yesterday and on the news and stuff.
Yeah.
when
Yeah,
he was-
during his tenure at Ajax. It's a guy.
It's definitive sweeper at Ajax. Yeah.
Does he know it's being filmed and broadcast?
I think so,
so.
because he got done for it.
He got done for it, yeah.
And then he bit a guy.
He bit a
Well, that's my
He bit a
point.
Man City defender as well, big tall fella. Like really bit him quite hard. And and then last night.
At the World Cup.
Jesus
Or was it the day before yesterday?
Christ.
No, yesterday, I think.
Yeah, yesterday, last night. Yeah, bit another fucker.
So he's gone from football for a while, I guess.
Worst bit about it, he bit the guy. The guy went, my fucking shoulder. And then Luis Suarez fell to the ground, holding his face and teeth.
Really?
Like the guy had elbowed him or like
Yeah,
shouldered him in
yeah,
the gob and
yeah.
They were
everything.
having a little push in the box, so that he kind of leans in, bites the guy on the shoulder, and it's like the way he leans in, and the guy falls down. But then you see him just and like just collapse in a little heap, and
Yeah.
Link it.
he falls down.
Link that stuff
It's
up.
it's
Yeah,
pretty
will
it's
do.
pretty shocking to see, really, because you just think how fucking stupid.
So
A good candidate for cunt of the week, I think.
awesome candidate for
Fits
cunts
the
of the week.
criteria.
Again, there's a few never-ending list of total cunts. On a more positive note, though, England are out of the World Cup, but Wimbledon has started. Yeah. You like the tennis, Jay?
Yeah, I like tennis. I like Wimbledon.
Awesome.
Can
You know that Andy Murray is he was the first British person to win it in 70 odd years when he won it last year,
Yeah.
and there's not been a day that's gone past without him being referred to as the first British man in over 70 odd years. So that's made me think, like, are they going to know if it happens again? Are they just going to say the second British man in over 75 years to win Wimbledon? Or...
You would tell me what they did say.
Yeah, no, that was what I was leading on to. They milked it to the point where his first match, he was walking out and they said, well, it's been 75 years since we've seen a British champion, walk out on Wimbledon to defend his title. So you're like, well, he's sort of,
Nice.
now that the tournament started, he is champion, but, you know, for how long?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Obviously,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
finite, it's for a year unless he wins it again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's hope so.
But, that was amazing. And I was just wondering, I kept watching the match just to go, and this, of course, the third serve by, well, it's been 75 years since we've seen the opening serve of a defending British champion at Wimbledon, and now the first break. First time, of course, in over 70 years we've seen a reigning British champion take a seat, have a little drink,
Yeah.
check the balls, and here he goes. Oh, and there it is, the first point scored by a defending British champion at Wimbledon in over 70 years.
And
Sue Barker?
a point scored against him. We haven't seen that for 75 years.
Yeah.
Anything.
Can I bring up the thing that I always do with Andy Murray and just put it out there for anyone listening?
He's Scottish, isn't he?
Why
New
doesn't
York.
Andy Murray have a knighthood?
Oh,
And I bring this up because people like Chris Hoy, Bradley Wiggins,
yeah.
they got them.
The
Yeah,
Queen
he's
prefers
only-
cycling.
He's only won. He's only won.
Yeah, but it's like
Only
Once.
one Wimbledon.
Only won Wimbledon once.
Yeah, but it's still.
And the Olympics.
Well, does that mean he's a knight?
thought that's
I disagree with a lot of knight things.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not. No, what
Me too.
I don't really agree with the whole thing. But what I'm saying is that if the criteria, like Chris Hoy, it's for the Olympics, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bradley Wiggins for winning the Tour de France.
Steve Redgrave for 5 Olympics.
Yeah, he had
that's
to do it.
understandable.
Yeah, there you
Five
go.
times.
Yeah,
But
that's
what
what
I'm
I
saying-
mean. Andy Murray doesn't
Is
deserve
it-
one yet. He needs to win a few more times. Win some more shit.
But
But there are other people that haven't won as much, or it hasn't been seen as significant in the kind of national.
That's why it's bollocks, though, isn't it? That's
Cliff
why it's
Richard
bollocks.
hasn't won a
It's
single
bollocks.
Olympic gold medal.
It's bollocks because there is no real criteria. Like,
yeah,
it's a
yeah, you got a point there.
You know, it's bollocks because of that reason. If it was like, right, you got to win 5 international sporting events for your sportsman, then you would be considered for a knighthood, judged on the wealth of other stuff we assume you will have done by that point. Which includes,
that's really good.
Helping the homeless, saving, donating to some sort of charity. Doing stuff for free sometimes, mate, because you're a fucking sportsman. It's not a real job. And then you can be a knight.
I think
But
it's a
not
real
like
job.
fucking 1 Tour de France and some sideburns and there you go.
Yeah.
But it happened.
Yeah, I know.
And I think more people cared about Andy Murray winning Wimbledon.
They definitely did.
And
I
that's,
thought the
that's,
Royals,
what,
at
that's
least.
what I'm saying. I was
Do you
like,
think
why
his,
has he not got it?
Do you think his jockenicity had anything to do
I
with it?
think it might have done. I think it might be.
Chris Hoy, no, what I'm on about. Chris Hoy is a kiltist.
Oh, yeah.
So that's
the theory.
yeah, bang goes that theory.
God, we're really, really punching loads of holes in theories tonight. It's brilliant.
We really are. All sports theories as well. This has become a bit of a sports cast.
The theory behind the pole vault that I had was somebody who was shit at high jump and then just brought a pole one day and said, well, there's nothing in the rules about it.
Yeah.
Hold on. And then somebody just brought a longer pole and went, right, we've got to create a separate event. No.
Not yet.
No.
Not
This
in
is
time, though.
This is the high jump and it's how high we jump. How would
It's
you possibly
true, isn't
do
it? That's a good point. Like in the shot put, right? Is there a rule against having a cannon?
Oh, and the Hungarians have figured it out.
I think, yeah, health and safety would have a field day. What about the Bionic Olympics? Now that artificial limbs are getting more and more advanced, and I'm not saying we're at Bionic Man stage yet, but we're pretty close.
I think that's when Robot Wars and the Olympics collide.
Yeah.
That's the
I know.
Paralympics.
Because do you know what?
Oh dear.
that was a conversation pause. It wasn't my eyes widened.
You know the $6 million man?
Yeah.
How much would $6 million buy you now today? Like how high tech would you be?
I think you'd be pretty awesome.
You mean convert the money into today's money?
No, just 6 million today.
6
Because you
million
need the
today.
net.
Yeah.
You can't be the $15.4 million man.
I'd want to be specific, I would.
$6 million.
You can't adjust for inflation. It's the $6 million man.
$6 million man and have a really nice house, couple of
$6
cars.
million. I thought it was
It's
the
the
$6 billion. Right?
It's the
No.
$6 million man.
Yeah, you'd be alright.
You'd have to
The
be
six.
$6
Can you
billion.
imagine what the $6 billion man would have looked like?
Giant. I'd be ginormous. If I was
Just a disembodied conscience.
Is it dollars? Is that-
God.
Yeah, it's that total TV show, isn't it? The $6 million
Okay,
man.
so but there isn't that much good shit to get yet. There's not like Hawkeyes or anything.
Yeah, but he had he had like special vision and he was really
Do you
strong.
reckon they can make shit like that now?
I'm not saying. I'm
They
saying
don't tell us about it 'cause it's got no purpose.
It might be shit. It might be shit. It might be that for £6 million now you don't get very much.
I reckon you can get a Hawkeye put in, like a little telescope eye that can look miles.
What makes you think that?
I just reckon that would be.
I
if you
just
had
reckon.
4.8 million and you were like, right, dude, this is what I
Yeah.
want, scientist.
Hmm.
Put it in my eye.
Hearing aids.
And they
you
say
can
a
do
telescope.
loads.
You want a telescope in your eye.
No, like a little microscopic one, like tiny, like
Microscope.
It looks like an eye. Yes, you can see tiny germs.
That'd be
on a
horrible.
kitchen surface.
You wouldn't have a cheese sandwich
all
ever
the
again
time.
because of all
Just
the
with
fucking
one eye
living
as well,
things.
so your perception would be fucked. You'd be not reaching far enough for a jar. You'd be like fucking falling down.
Just smashing into
stairs.
stuff because you think you're right by the ocean.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
falling in your living room all the time.
Yeah, I think you're right by a wall on the left.
God, the sun's close.
Yeah,
Shouldn't really stare at it.
no way.
Yeah, no, burn out your bionic eye.
Yeah.
Speaking of burning, Glasgow School of Art set on fire a few weeks back, month
Yeah.
or so back now.
Yeah.
But this week, Brad Pitt and Peter Capaldi, Dr. Motherfucking Who,
Yeah.
are leading efforts to raise money to restore it.
Why is Brad Pitt doing that?
He likes a bit of art.
He likes Glasgow as well. Did they not film that World War Z or World War Z film? Did they not film some of that in Glasgow?
That's a post-apocalyptic, isn't it? So probably.
Yeah.
Zombie apocalypse. Yeah. Good point. Yeah, good point.
Move these extras out of the way. These are junkies. keep them here.
They filmed a little bit in Cardiff as well, and they go, "We gotta make an emergency landing at Cardiff Airport."
What? No,
Yeah,
they don't.
They fucking
Yeah, they
do.
do.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they do. Cardiff Airport, and then they crash into Cardiff Airport on the road, mate. Run across a couple of fields.
Hundreds of pounds worth of damage.
Yeah. You didn't ask us if we could do this. Well, I am Welsh, so that's fine.
Well, you're not. You're from Shropshire.
Let's not go there.
Okay. Well, Shropshire. I think it's lovely.
Shropshire's
So
beautiful.
they're leading efforts to restore that. I was thinking when it burned down, everybody handled it really well because you could imagine there'd be a lot of hysteria.
Well, the people on the news, but I think there must have been a lot of students who it was like final submission time, wasn't it? And
that was what they said. They said, of course, and obviously it's horrendous because it's final submission time, and a lot of students' work has been completely incinerated. We were thinking that would be gutting.
Yeah.
Unless you were a fucking layabout. Don't see nothing. Oh, what the fuck's happened? What is it? It's what? Oh no! Oh, my work! That sculpture, that ice sculpture that I did. Yeah, that'll be gone, won't it?
Yeah.
Even if it's not burning, it would have been too hard.
The thing that I didn't consider, certainly I didn't consider at the time, was that someone's work?
What, setting on fire? Holy shit! They haven't come forward yet.
No, they will when they want to get graded for it.
That's true.
Imagine they got great marks.
I can't imagine that happen.
I don't know, mate.
Is there a lot of money to be made as art, like destroying art as a means of art?
No, there's not a lot of money to me. There's been a trend in it.
That's what I meant. Sorry, not a lot of money in it, or whether there's any big trend.
Yeah, there's a bit of thing. There was a brilliant exhibition in Tate Britain last year that I went to see about destruction in art, and it went through historical stuff from what's it called, like the Reformation? Is it called?
Yeah.
And like the bits of like statues from church with heads chopped off right through to in the 60s with like people like Gustav Metzger who all destructive art.
That's
created,
right.
which was like the most famous one, the most iconic certainly, is a installation on where is it? In London by the Thames, right where the Millennium Dome is, that sort of area.
Okay.
What's that called? Down there.
Yeah.
On the banks of the River Thames, and it was
The
like
wharf.
these big. They want
West
canvases.
Bank.
They want canvases, but they were these massive, frames with sheets of silk on them. And he went around like a gas mask and he sprayed acid on them. And the whole performance was like there's film footage of it, like the acid hitting them and it all.
Can you see that at the very beginning of EastEnders?
Yeah, definitely.
If you get a bionic eye fitted,
They can make those now.
Yeah, they can.
£6 billion.
£6 billion.
So yeah, I mean, people would say there's a lot of I'm certainly one of them, a lot of validity in destruction in art. It's an interesting thing. Contemporary people still doing it. There was loads of stuff that I'd never even seen before of guys. A guy that made whole symphonies of just him smashing up and burning pianos and things.
Wow.
But also
Any music accompanying it? Because there's normally...
in headphones, yeah.
Oh, right, excellent. That's even...
And the objects on the walls. Also, there was some stuff of like art that had been attacked and had been vandalised, and that's the bit where there's not lots of money. There's been things. Tony Shafrazi, I think it was, spray painted on Guernica in the 1970s or 1980s, I believe.
Yeah.
And there's also things like, there was the Rothko painting in the Tate Modern the other year.
That's right.
Some guy wrote on it. Some shit about yellowism or something. I think.
Yeah, that's right.
You get done for that sort of shit if you get caught.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, Art Under Attack, that's what it was called, that exhibition. It was brilliant. And there's a lovely catalogue you can probably still buy if anyone's interested.
I know somebody will be interested. There's a couple of guys in Newport making a project about the destruction of art at the moment.
Yeah.
Making a live theatre piece about it, yeah. So that should be pretty cool.
Excellent.
Destroy
Sounds good, man. Get on
If
to
in
it.
social political context of it, then yeah, definitely look that up. Art
One
Under
piece
Attack.
of art that I saw, it was on that show Four Rooms,
Oh, yeah.
where somebody brings in an item that they think is valuable, and then they get it valued by 4 people, and hopefully get a good price for it.
Or not.
Or not, yeah. So I've seen some shite on there, but also some really great stuff. No, because it's a really weird, it's an odd collection that you always get on there. This one guy had made a sculpture of a train
Don't say what you're going to say.
placed on a train track
Leading into
Auschwitz.
Oh, I knew you were going to say it.
It was made from gold, and the gold was from smelted wedding rings and gold teeth from victims of the Holocaust.
Yeah.
He was offered precisely fuck all for it, all the way around.
No,
One guy offered him 10 grand to put his foot through it all on the telly.
Yeah.
And I said, do it.
Yeah.
I thought that would be brilliant. Because he said, purely for the cost, it's £8,000. So I'd be looking at sort of £25,000 to £30,000. It was like, fuck off. That's a really distasteful thing.
It is. It's absolute shit. It just betrays a complete lack of imagination, artistic ability.
That's right.
What's he trying to say with that?
Look,
Yeah. Oh, it's this, but it's clever because it's made with a material that's related to the thing.
It is really simple.
If
and
he'd-
really almost like.
If he'd have got the gold as it was, if he'd have bought it on the black market and bought like fillings and things like that, hopefully, and I say hopefully, in a perfect world he wouldn't have done it, but hopefully he would have got it in bars that were, but he would have actually got it from the black market somehow because of what it is. But if he'd have had it smelted, if he'd have had the rings in the teeth and whatnot and had it smelted himself, that guy is cunt of the millennium.
That is the
Almost.
sort of idea that you have, and like you'd never be able to do it.
Of course not.
But this is a guy who somehow has, through however long it's taken to amass this and produce this object, this long process, he's actually managed to do it, and at no point has he realised or has anyone told him that it's complete shit.
Imagine how much better he would feel, and everybody else would feel, if he got a load of those rings and a load of those artifacts and made it his life's work to find who they would belong to, family and stuff like that, you know,
wouldn't that have
or
been
taking them to wherever and
Yeah.
sort of burying them properly, or taking them to a fucking
I mean,
museum or
it
something
would have
like
been
that.
impossible, but it would have been a nice thought.
I think, yeah, the gesture alone, I think, would have said more than that trite piece of shit that
Yeah.
he brought on.
And he was right. 10 grand to put your foot through it. In fact, don't pay him fuck all. Just put your foot through it.
Yeah. Cunt of the week then. It's getting depressing when there are so many, but most of them are just good to read and to go, for goodness sake, how do these people still exist? First one, opera singer Tamara Veri for an anti-gay slur. I think she's Bosnian, and she said that there were some protests in Bosnia about gay rights, and police were seen, sort of beating up people and sort of dragging them out of the parade and what, and just generally disrupting it. And she said that she was very proud of the bravery shown by the police and by the armed response teams to the gaying up of her country.
Yeah.
So that's one of the cunt of the week.
Yeah, massively cuntish. Fuck her.
Cunt of the week, Rebecca Brooks.
Rebecca Brooks, what's she done now?
Nothing.
Nothing. Not guilty.
Ah,
As well as many. So the
right,
judicial
okay.
system may be cunt of the week, but
Yeah.
nothing wrong. After all of the...
Oh, bollocks. Do you know what? I saw it on the front cover and I thought it was for the exact opposite reason.
No.
I just kind of went, oh, awesome.
Oh, it
And
said
then
she
just
broke
walked
down
in.
in the dock. It said that she had
Yeah,
been taken
yeah,
up by a
yeah,
doctor. Amazing.
Yeah.
Why is she in a car? Her car.
I didn't read into it.
All of the proof that we've... Just on the news. Oh, man, you shouldn't believe the news and everything. Yeah, but sometimes, like, when the weather is going to be perfect and all the weathermen go, I know we get things wrong from time to time, but wear some fucking sun cream because it's going to be boiling tomorrow.
Yeah.
Not guilty, despite all of the overwhelming evidence and the fact that she was the editor, the News of the World.
Yeah.
Well, she edited the Sun.
Editor of the
first,
Sun
and
first.
then I think.
While all this
and
was
then,
happening.
She was like chief executive or something. wasn't
Yeah,
she?
that's right.
News International. She rose
That's right, yeah.
quite high. Yeah. What I find most baffling is the way that Andy Coulson found guilty and she's
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a bit...
acquitted. It's a bit strange, you know.
I think that just goes to show you that there is corruption behind it all. Like, behind the judicial system, there is fucking corruption. Like, because, I mean, in the face of overwhelming and astounding evidence...
Well, yeah, you've got to be convinced of guilt. Yeah, convinced of guilt, because
Yeah,
that's
I
why you're
guess
not.
that
That's
is
why
the
you're
line,
guilty
isn't
or
it?
not guilty. You're not
Yeah.
proven innocent.
No.
Which some people would see a flaw, but it's the only way to eke out.
No, I
Proper
don't
justice.
see that as a flaw. I don't see that approach as a flaw to say, unless we can prove with 100% certainty that
Not
this
100%,
person
man.
is-
Beyond a reasonable doubt.
Well, beyond a reason... Well, what's the percentage for reasonable doubt?
You can't. Well, that's the thing. That's what you have to decide as a jury. You can't work in absolutes. You can't say 100%.
No.
If somebody were to admit
No,
something,
but I guess you can't have holes in the kind of, in the theory of it. You can't say, well, she could have got this done like this if she was doing this.
but your tone would suggest that isn't a reasonable doubt.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? You could have easily fallen onto that knife 8 times. I mean, we've all done it.
Yeah.
That's not a reasonable doubt.
Yeah, no.
Can't work in absolutes. Even if somebody were to say, yeah, I'm glad I killed the bastard, I'm sure a parent would take the fall for a child that they loved or a partner. It's happened loads.
Yeah.
Rebecca Brooks, you are this week's cunt of the week.
Horrible cunt.
I've got a copy of the book, The Top 20 of Everything, which I picked up for you on your behalf.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought it was this year's edition because you had a top 10 of everything, didn't you?
Yeah, I did for last year, yeah.
But it turns out this top 20 is published in 2011,
Oh,
which
wow.
I didn't notice.
That's why it was cheap.
It's why it was cheap, yeah. But there is still some good material in it, some fascinating facts. And the one that caught my eye last night, and I wanted to share with you guys, run past you. Well chosen, I've got to say. Not on purpose, but it is sport related. You'll be pleased to hear, Justin.
I'm thrilled.
I know you've enjoyed a lot of the sport related chat.
Quite a sporty podcast, this one.
It is a bit, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it.
We're really bringing out our lad side, you know?
Whee!
Maybe see the cricket?
No.
Alright.
No, I did see the latest copy of Loading magazine.
Oh, yeah.
Ah,
Those
those
are
are
good.
good.
Yeah.
Let me tell
which
you.
the ones on the front.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, the
God.
front boobs are my
They're
favourite.
always
Yeah.
the best ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back boobs are normally only found on the morbidly
Yeah.
obese.
Right,
God, I'm lonely.
it's the top 20. This will cheer you up, mate. It's the top 20 riskiest items of sport and leisure equipment in the UK. This is an average of accidents per year, right? The average number of accidents requiring hospital treatment per year, right?
Anybody who wants to guess what the top 3 are can email us at thelast7podcast@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter at thelast7. Win some fucking awesome goodies.
None of the goodies that we're listing, though, I don't think.
No, none of the goodies we
Because
listen. Mostly stuff I found around the flat.
Yeah, and they're so dangerous.
Something lovely I've made
So
at home.
don't go near a toboggan or sledge. That's number 20. 2,920 accidents.
Per year.
Whoa.
At number 19, very interesting. This is a piece of sport or leisure equipment you would never guess would enter on this list. Exercise machine.
An exercise
Yeah,
machine.
non-specific. I thought that yesterday. What exercise machine?
What exercise machine?
That's a lie. This has been written by a woman who's lost her husband to shed porn. And he's going, where are you going, Barry, again? Just to use the exercise machine. I won't be long. The windows will get steamy.
I think a lot of the 3,175 accidents requiring hospital treatment are beating the shit out of it.
yeah.
Bloody exercise machine.
Number 18, bowling ball.
That's right.
3,244.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. Just on the foot then.
Is that in the whole world?
No, in the UK.
UK.
This makes it slightly more interesting.
Average per year.
Average per year.
So that's
That could
just
be
a bowling
thumb.
ball on the
No,
foot,
that
or
could be
is
a
that
thumb
thumb
getting
hurt?
caught in it.
That bit that you see on the
That could be
Flintstones
someone
where you
getting
bowl
hit with
it
it.
Dropped
too
on
hard
Yeah,
and you fly down the alley.
yeah.
Go on, man, plow on. Let's go through the list.
17, the punch ball or bag.
How does that hurt you?
I
You
don't
punch
know.
it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
that's
then it could bounce back and smash you in
that's
the
why I
face.
thought it was so fantastic.
A
But
sentient punch bag.
there are 3,826 people, or maybe not, because some people might have got hurt 2, 3, 4, 5 times, 1,000 times.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Number 16, tennis racket, ball and net.
Racket, ball and net are all
and net.
folded up.
4,378.
No, it doesn't mean they've come in, I've got a racket across my neck, a ball up my arse, and a net wrapped around my legs.
Yeah,
It's been
all
all
three.
What are the odds? Another bloody tennis-related injury. Is
Yeah.
it the net, ball, racket? It is indeed. Yeah.
They're incredibly high.
How do they get it so far up there?
I just...
Why not leave the
baffles
handle
me.
sticking out so you
Yeah.
can retrieve it? God.
Jeez, or the other way round.
Yeah.
Number 15, something that I'm sure you might be on this. You might be one of the 5,155 from your idyllic childhood in Shropshire.
I might be, but it's from the year 2011.
It's the rope swing.
The rope swing. I wouldn't technically class it as a piece of sporting equipment.
Sport and
Sport
leisure.
and leisure equipment.
Sport and leisure.
Leisure for the under that was a rope swing is almost designed to break. That's why you carry on using it until it's threadbare over some sort of
Yeah,
pond.
I do love a good rope swing though, especially if you get a good long stick at the bottom.
Of course, yeah.
For feet. Yeah, that's the best.
Arse, not feet.
Or arse,
Yeah.
arse is great.
Number
Yeah.
15.
Don't edit this any other way.
No, no, that was number 50. Number 14 with 6,229 accidents. Football, goalpost, and net.
Oh, this is even worse than a tennis ball. The ball is much bigger.
Well, you'll be.
Jesus Christ.
Well,
We can't get you in the ambulance, mate.
Yeah,
You're going to
yeah,
have
we
to somehow dislodge that goalpost.
yeah.
number 13, 6,594 accidents requiring hospital treatment involving fishing rod, hook, and line.
Oh. You're a keen angler, or have been.
Yeah, I have been.
Dog's
yeah.
kicking off.
Not so much anymore. That's because Lauren Turner home.
I
You
see.
ever injured yourself?
Yeah, well, I've had to hook through the fingers and stuff like that. I've had to hook
Oh.
through, through the, the bit between your thumb and your finger, the web.
Yeah.
I got a whole hook through there.
Hand
once.
gooch.
Hand gooch. I got it right through the hooch.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I have heard horror stories, but one of the worst ones I heard was not about the hook, but about the weight. And it's like, they're the shape of kind of a teardrop.
Yeah.
Well, somebody once cast back, and the weight pushed itself into somebody's eye, moved the eye temporarily out of the way, and then went into the back of their head, into the back of their eye socket. They were still alive.
You didn't continue the cast.
Well, yeah, you would have done the forward.
What the fuck is that?
You would have done the cast back, and then the thing would have got lodged in the dude's eye. Yeah, and then you would.
This
have
could not get any worse.
Yeah. But it stayed. It was in there. He was blind in that eye for a short time.
Lead
Got
poisoning
into
as well,
hospital. No, popped the eye out, pulled the lure out. Oh, not the lure. It wasn't a fucking lure. Could you imagine that? It was the weight. Pulled the weight out and then put the eye back in. It took like 3 or 4 days, and he got his sight back.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but not the hook. The fucking weight.
Triumph of the human body there.
Number 12, 7,923 accidents required hospital treatment involving the roller skate or roller ski.
Yeah. Roller ski?
Exactly.
I don't know.
I don't
Roller
know either.
ski?
No, I'm happy to stay ignorant.
The fuck? What would a ski roll with?
Wheels.
Surely they mean a roller blade.
I think that has to be it. Although rollerblades, I think, are coming up.
Yep.
Why aren't they all in the same category?
Number 11. No,
Yeah.
this really is an interesting and highly risky piece of sport and leisure equipment. 9,320 accidents, right? Indoor swimming pool.
Yeah.
Drownings.
There's loads more. There's loads more use of them.
Okay.
Somebody
number 10.
in an indoor swimming pool might swallow a poo done by a child.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Would that be on the list?
What?
Because technically it wouldn't have anything to do with the swimming pool.
I
Well,
do
yeah,
not
that's the
bet-
injury sustained in it. You wouldn't have that in tennis.
It's specific to the indoor pool. You're right.
Yeah, it is.
Which is why it's not indoor or outdoor pool, because it's just indoor.
Well, you can still do a big chumba in an outdoor pool.
Well, there's more happening more often in indoor pools, apparently.
Oh well, there's more of them in Britain.
I've got to stop doing that.
Yeah, you do.
Mine just sink anyway.
You thought once he'd lived out the fantasy once, he would have got it out of his system, like quite literally. But
Everybody takes a shit in the swimming pool every now and again. Okay, maybe not off the top diving board.
it's the most interesting episode of
Oh my
Splash.
god. That's brilliant.
Looks like Dan's going to go for a double mud monkey pike. Not sure what that is. It's a dive he's made of himself. Oh, he's defecated in the pool. That's
Genius.
That's awful. Tom Daly's giving it a 9.5.
Let's crack on right into the top 10. I'll fire through these now.
All right,
Number
let's
10,
go.
it's the bouncy castle.
Fuck. I keep forgetting the leisure aspect of this. But yes, it's fine.
9,551.
Wow.
At number 9, with 10,612, we're getting serious now, with the gymnasium mat.
Gymnasium mat?
Yeah. How the fuck?
Of all the equipment.
Jesus
that you could on yourself on.
Christ.
What could it possibly do to you that's
I-
worse than a roller skate?
Yeah. Yeah.
What happened? I fell off my roller skate. What happened? I fell off my gym mat. Get out of my hospital.
At number 8, 10,701. It's the golf club or ball.
Oh, yeah,
Definitely.
100%. I've been
Yeah.
hitting the balls with the
You
golf
think
club.
it's really rare that people would get hit with a golf ball, but it's really not.
Loads of people play at the same
No.
time. That's the thing. There's a
Yeah.
queue behind you. It certainly is behind me if I play golf.
Yeah, yeah,
There's a
yeah.
fucking huge queue behind you, and they can hit the ball sometimes a lot further than you.
Yeah.
I've got a whistle past my ear. I'm not a keen golfer, but it's happened to me fucking loads.
Did you ever hear the story about my dad? He was playing on the golf course, and he made it into the American newspapers and like golfing societies and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was getting ready to tee off like on the first hole, and practicing his swing, and he's in a competition, and suddenly he got knocked out. He got hit on the head with a golf ball from somebody in the practice driving range thing. And he got hit on the head with the golf ball, and he was out for like 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah,
and when he came
actually,
out, it was
I'm
loads of
conscious.
people.
I read this article.
Yeah.
I read like 4 or 5 articles afterwards.
Yeah, they're great, man. Yeah, and you can get them all online and stuff. And he woke up, and they were like, "Oh, you've got to go to the hospital." And he was like, "No, I'm fine. Really likes golf, my dad. That's the one thing.
Okay.
Really loves.
He's
the
not
game
going to
of
let a
golf.
concussion
He
get
did
in the
not let a
between him
concussion get in the way of him. So he
Okay.
said, no. Had a glass of water, had a little sit down, had something sugary, got up, got back into his position. Everyone was like, all right, fair enough, leave him to it. He seems well enough. Hit the ball, got a hole in one.
Yeah! Granville Cliff.
Yeah.
Get it on the internet. I'm going to check as many links up as I can find. 'cause
Yeah,
he's a fucking hero. So I was reading through one of your dad's golf membership packs, like trying to get his credit card information. And didn't get it. You know,
Damn
the
it.
security thing on the back, living.
Bollocks.
No, that's when I first read. It was his like a welcome pack. He'd like renewed membership or something, and he was going through it with us. And that's where I saw hole-in-one insurance, and it's just part of your membership. Because if you get a hole-in-one, you have to buy everybody in the clubhouse a
That's
drink.
it. Yeah, yeah,
When you get back to there, so they, but then I asked him at the time and said, "Is that not rife for abuse?
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
that sort of insurance?" Oh well, yeah, well, you know, what a horrible day for it, guys. We could,
Yeah, yeah.
if we were that way inclined, just say that Granville got another hole-in-one,
Yeah, yeah.
and then we'll be fine. Obviously, people saw the one after the concussion, but yeah, just nipping through and just going right 3, 2, 1. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah,
Woo!
yeah.
Yeah,
On a really rainy, shitty day.
yeah, definitely just popping in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Distillery's dream.
Yeah. Oh, and all my friends are here in the clubhouse. What are the odds of me getting 3 holes in one? 3 rounds of drinks for all of my friends and family that are here from Canada.
That's great. Yeah.
Number 7, 10,928 accidents involving the trampoline.
Yeah.
The little bouncy castle. The bouncy.
Yeah, the bounce.
Number 6, 13,542. This is an interesting one, Jay. Netball.
Maybe
where
because
you
girls playing it.
That's terrible. Women have twice as many pain receptors as men,
Really?
but they have a higher pain threshold
they're
and tolerance.
way better at taking pain. Like I've had a few games with Kate where we do stuff to one another and see if like who can last the wet. Like stuff like, you know, pinching or like who can put a punch in one another and stuff.
This sounds like an abusive relationship you would
No,
make.
no,
Does she win a lot?
Oh yeah, she always wins. That's the
Good,
problem.
good.
Yeah.
Well then, Kate, kick
if
his
anything,
ass.
it's abuse towards me most of the time. Anyway, Ken.
Number 5, the rollerblade or inline skate.
There's bullshit that exists separately from the roller ski.
Yeah. I don't know what the roller ski is.
16,058.
Fuck's sake.
And number 4, with 21,447, climbing frame.
All kids then.
So,
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
So
bless
we're
them.
after the top 3. So email us at thelast7podcast@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter at thelast7. Name the top 3 most dangerous items of sport and leisure equipment, evidenced by the average annual admissions to hospital.
yeah.
Top 3. So that's thelast7podcast@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter at thelast7. You can also give us your best and worst things of the week. A question of Tone when he fucking decides to come back and do the podcast. I've got one this week actually that comes from Glen Eagles.
Nice. In America?
In
Because that
Scotland.
sounds like an American name.
It's where the Ryder Cup's being held this year, I think.
Glen Eagles. It's a place, not a man's name.
Alright.
I was going to say, or if anybody has any sport injury related stories, they
Oh,
can
yeah,
email
brilliant.
in and tweet in. 'Cause
Anything
I'm
that we've
sure
mentioned.
they'd be brilliant.
Bouncy castle injuries, trampoline injuries, tramp injuries if you haven't given the right amount of change. Any odd injury that you've had involving leisure or sporting equipment.
There's that Spanish thing where they get chased by bulls. They don't do that in Britain, do they? Shit.
No.
Shit.
The running of the bulls at Middlesbrough. Can you
Yeah.
imagine?
Oh, what about cheese rolling?
Oh
There must
shit!
be
Yeah.
some serious injuries from
Well,
that.
everyone. When
Yeah.
when I've seen it,
Well,
chase the
who
cheese
knows?
down the hill.
Who knows? Might be in the top 3.
It very well might be in the top 3. We might have fucked it.
No, we haven't.
No, we haven't. I know what the
Cool.
top 3 is. Absolutely
Push
fine.
on, let's finish this mofo.
If you, Justin, could eat one meal for the rest of your life, which meal would it be? And I don't mean it's just one massive plate that'll rot. I mean, you have to eat, for instance, spaghetti bolognese. That's the only thing you can eat for the rest of your life.
Say the first thing that pops in your head.
Chicken nuggets, potato waffles, and spaghetti shapes.
That's amazing. That's a child's plate. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Easy to digest, tasty as fuck.
Yeah.
Do you know what the first thing that just popped into my head when you said it? And this
Pussy.
is going to really say something about me. No, it was not Dan. Muesli. Even I'm disappointed with that one.
That says a lot. I
You
mean,
bland bastard.
I know. I was thinking. So if I, you know what I mean, if I was to kill someone in America and end up on death row, is that what I'd ask for?
I
They-
know, but I wouldn't ask for waffles, chicken nuggets, and spaghetti shapes either.
Bill Bailey said you should ask for a pineapple and a stale baguette, so you can make like a mace and fight your way out of the place.
That's fucking
But I honestly
brilliant.
did think when you said, one meal for the rest of your life, I thought baguette.
Yeah, baguette.
No, I thought muesli.
Yeah, you
That's
did
what
think
you were saying,
muesli.
I guess. I did. I thought of muesli, and there's a world of muesli to explore, guys.
You're not allowed though. You're only allowed surely you're only allowed the one type of muesli that you choose
You'll
on
have
from day one.
One type of waffle.
I couldn't have variations of waffles.
No, you couldn't have like a turkey Twizzler instead of a chicken nugget.
No,
that'd be about an
No, but you
abomination.
could get different brands of chicken nugget. Different brands of waffle.
All right.
If you're gonna opt for them, I recommend not going for the what was it called? The SFC chicken that I bought from a well-known retailer. That tasted, it wasn't a chicken, so I don't know. I don't know. It sort of was. I was skint at the time, so it was like £1 on offer for this.
No.
Like this selection bucket of chicken.
Do you know what always irks me is when you go into the one that's named after a cold country, and you can buy, like, I saw in there 50 chicken nuggets for $1.99. No, there's no way that they are fucking fit for human consumption. What are they?
They're the ones that. Those are the bits of chicken that are sort of sandblasted off the carcass and then swept on the floor into a gutter and reconstituted into and breaded and filled with some MSG.
You don't have that problem with muesli. And
No, it's just a thin white dust.
Can I just say that if there are any sort of muesli manufacturers or supplier out there that would like to sponsor either this podcast or my appearances on the podcast, and maybe send me or us some muesli.
Right, welcome to the Last 7, sponsored by Alpen.
Yeah.
Not necessarily Alpen, mate. There's loads
Name
of muesli.
another one.
Name another one.
There's loads of muesli out there.
Name one more. Name 3 more.
Well,
There's
the
loads.
supermarkets have all got their own.
Yeah,
that's one type of muesli. That's own
There's
brand.
plenty. There's those ones in the little boxes that I buy when they're on special.
Yeah, cereal does come in little boxes.
No, they're in the little fancy. Remember, they were in those lovely.
Your
I
hippie
can think
boxes.
of one. Farmhouse. That's an actual one.
Bring it on, Farmhouse.
And it's something Brown's, Mr. Brown's or something.
Mr.
It's got
Brown's
horse and cart on
muesli.
it.
Yeah.
That was the most unappetizing fucking item on a shelf. Look at that. Oh, Dad, we have the Cocoa Pops, we have the Frosties. Oh, what about the Rice Gulls? It comes with a free inside. You'll be taking home Mr. Brown's muesli.
Dan, I've said it to you many times. We've had these
Skimmed
arguments
milk.
in supermarkets, but there comes a time in a man's life where he outgrows the kid's cereal.
I'm not there yet.
Not
man.
at all.
I fucking dig kids here.
Have you ever had a big bowl of Frosty Pops?
There comes a
That's
time.
Cocoa Pops and
There's
Frosties.
come
Yeah.
a time. Yeah, but have you ever put some Cocoa Pops in with some muesli?
Who the fuck would do
No.
that? I don't own muesli.
Just ruin the Cocoa Pops.
Yeah,
You
that's
wouldn't
like...
improve the muesli. That's beyond improving.
That is the cereal of a paedophile.
We're never going to get any muesli sponsorship now.
No.
There's a growing trend amongst our heroes of the week, and I say growing trend as in all of them so far have been dead. Felix Dennis died yesterday.
On Monday.
Felix Dennis died on Monday. Now, he was the owner of a company called Dennis Publishing, and they publish Men's Fitness, Maxim, and the Viz magazine.
Oh, really?
My favourite ever mag. He started off at an anti-establishment magazine called Oz, and he and his two co-writers were tried for obscenity because on one of the issues they allowed 14-year-old school children to write a whole issue, and he did a cartoon of Rupert Bear with his scarf and his lovely little cardigan on with his cock and balls out.
No.
So, yeah, they were charged with like trying to manipulate young minds.
Jesus.
And yeah,
The first day they were in court,
Yeah.
they turned up dressed as schoolboys.
yeah.
It's a brilliant photograph of them at the.
He's reckoned to be the first person to say cunt on TV. He was in the audience, I think, of a David Frost show who described one of his guests as fair-minded. I can't remember who it was. And Felix Dennis from the crowd went, fair-minded, he's one of the most obnoxious cunts I've ever met.
Nice.
He, in his later life, like I said, he made his money in publishing, but he has loads of other pursuits as well. Most notably in the last decade, he started writing poetry. and he's like a load of books, one of which I got because I went to go see him do a reading in the Glee Club, and bought a book called Tales from the Wood. The tour itself was called Did I Mention the Free Wine?
Yeah.
It was advertised in the Viz magazine, Glee Club in Cardiff, and it said free wine and canapes served throughout. And I thought, well, that's nice, like a bottle of wine, you'll have a little bit of food as well. Hell no. Wine, fine French wine, and canapes served throughout the evening.
Whoa.
The Glee Club just completely done up, so there was nothing else in the fridges apart from the wine. If you ordered the same glass twice, they asked if you wanted a bottle to take back with you. So to leave the empties, because for every bottle of wine drunk, he would plant a tree in a forest that he's made in the centre of England.
What?
Every book that you bought would be a tree planted as well.
Holy shit.
He was awesome. There's on the back of this audio CD that I got with the book is an ice impression of the forest,
Yeah.
which is just his face on the
His
landscape.
face on the landscape.
He became addicted to
Brilliant.
crack cocaine in the late 90s. He reckoned that he spent $100 million easily on drugs and women.
Oh.
His net worth when he died was over £700 million.
Yeah, because one of the things that I'd read on Monday was that, yeah, he owned Maxim magazine, but he owned it like internationally. There was loads of editions in America and all around the world, Australian edition, etc. Probably around Europe, Germany, France. Sure. It was the best-selling men's magazine at the time when he sold it, and he sold all the things, 144.5 million.
Holy shit!
It's the way forward.
Legend.
He was absolutely awesome when I met him, and like afterwards, he's an oldish guy, but he stayed around for ages afterwards. He was drinking wine throughout the whole thing. It helps, of course, if your crowd is well lubricated, but the fact that it was all free, he'd paid for it all. I'm not sure the tour operated at a loss, but the ticket was only £8. £8.
Whoa.
It was on a Wednesday as well, and I must have drunk 3 bottles of wine.
He must have been.
Canapes were amazing. None of your Iceland piss. It was like
No.
proper handmade sort of prosciutto, cheese, and sun blush tomatoes. It was amazing.
Good.
He's definitely the hero of the week. I've got that signed book, which will stay with me forever. It's a shame that I'll never get to see him do a reading again, or anything else for that matter. Earlier this year, that was right, I think it's St. Kitts. He's in love with, the Caribbean and the islands, and he spent over £11 million giving every school child on that island a laptop. So a philanthropist until the very end. Altruism was his bag. A person who worked really hard to get what he wanted and said whatever he thought all the time. Look up Oz, if anybody hasn't. I'll chuck as many links up as I can, both to your dad and that golf, story, but also to Felix Dennis, who's amazing. If you want to get in touch with us, you can follow us on Twitter at TheLast7 or email thelast7podcast@gmail.com. I'd like to thank my co-participants for today, Mr. Justin Cliff.
No, thank you, Dan.
Best of luck in America, man. We're going to miss you a hell of a lot, but we'll have you back in 1 month, I guess, to do the podcast again. And thanks very much to Ken Trainer, who'll be here next week.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for providing the venue this evening, Justin.
Yeah, cheers, Jay. Apologies for any dip in sound quality. We are recording on an internal microphone on a Macintosh computer.
Who knows what dip in quality we'll see next week.
The Last 7 was recorded at Justin's house, edited at my flat, with additional material by Punra and DJ Alchemy. Here's some Felix Dennis.
Whosoever plants a tree winks at immortality. Woodland cherries, flowers ablaze, hold no hint of human praise. Hazels in a hidden glade give no thought to stake or spade. London plains in Georgian squares count no patrons in their prayers. Seed and sapling seek no cause. Bark and beetle shun applause. Leaf and shoot know naught of debt. Twig and root are dumb, and yet choirs of songbirds greet each day with eulogies, as if to say, whosoever plants a tree winks at immortality.
I love the French, the bastards. I love the French, the swine. It galls me to admit it, but how I love their wine, their cheeses and their clarets, the muddle of franglais, their weird belief that Elvis was Johnny Hallyday, their love of regulations which all are then ignored, the strikes they call on ferries when everyone's aboard, their grandiose delusion that what is French is right, their rascal politicians who rob them day and night, regret, their summer-long vacations, their bloody-minded cheek, their loathing of the English, their little fits of pique, the worship of their bellies, their shrugs and savoir-faire. I'd move to France tomorrow, if only they weren't there. I love Provence in autumn and spring in gay Paris. I love the French, the bastards, but they do not love me.